said Miyagi's gooning for the opportunity.
Uh, yep, sure did.
Is that true?
Yep, Goon City.
Okay. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 3 of the Midwest Degens podcast. Yes, I am the host, Mr. Milkies, Mr. Holmes, Jay Dizzle. Colby is here, but not currently here, per usual. This is just gonna be the running thing. It's 3 people in the podcast, but really it's just me and Pulley. But anyway, this is an extra special episode. First thing that I would like to say, thank you, Mr. John Pork, for stopping by last episode, coming hanging out with us.
What a legend.
He's a homie. For sure, he's definitely gonna be back on future episodes.
He's got a nice big fat bike.
Okay.
All right. Anyway, so today we have an extra special episode for you. One of my great
So special
childhood friends, somebody I know very well, been over a decade, Mr. Miyagi.
Woo!
What's up, baby?
How we doing?
How are you doing?
So good.
Oh yeah?
So good.
So Miyagi, tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
I play games, PC, and yeah.
Pull you play the crickets.
I can't currently.
Okay, then it sounds like it's the perfect time to go into the first thing. Miyagi, we have a running thing that we do here on the Midwest Degens podcast. We like to play games around here. And this game is called Is Pulley in Bed?
I think
Miyagi,
Paulie's absolutely in
do you
bed.
think he's in bed? Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
Colby, what do you think? Huh. Interesting. What's the verdict, Mr. Pulley?
I am in fact in bed.
We knew it. We knew it. You lazy bastard.
Look, I just got finished with a couple long games of Delta Force. The shit is whack. I'm playing Respawn Simulator for the past couple of hours.
It's completely okay to admit to everybody that you are dog shit at video games. There's nothing wrong with that.
No, I'm dog shit at this video game.
When's the last league game you won?
Actually, one of the last games I played before I hopped on a Delta Force.
Won it.
Thank you very much.
You know what? Gopher has a good point. He said that just because you're dog shit doesn't mean the game's bad. Yeah. Damn. Dropping facts.
I beg to differ, but it's okay.
Miyagi,
I know.
Hold on, Miyagi. I correct me if I'm wrong. I believe you were probably sniping, right?
Yeah.
And how many kills were you dropping? Like 20?
Something like that.
Oh, okay. Pulley, what was your highest kill game?
I don't fucking know. I don't pay attention. I'm just trying to play the damn game. I can't. I spawn and get domed instantly.
Close. Go for that was a good guess though. No, it was 7. 7 kills. Round of applause.
Look, I never claimed to be good.
There's a difference between claiming to be good and being average. I'm not gonna lie, 7's a little below average.
Damn, he called you below average.
And that's not because I dropped 70 kills. That's just, I'm just.
Look, not all of us have amazing computer setups at the moment. You know what I mean?
There's been so many opportunities and times that we have said constantly, hey, Bully, bring your computer over. Let's fix it. Let's get your shit
Dog,
back up. And he's
there's
like,
a time and place
he goes, skill
for
issue? Yeah, I
everything, but
agree.
now is not the time. Once I
He's
move
taking
in,
all the bennies.
that's fine. Hey, I haven't taken any bennies in a while. I haven't been feeling under the weather. I haven't been feeling the
Can't be
Bully,
taking Denny's all the time.
allergies.
Bully,
Yeah, no, I
get
don't.
your ass
It's
up out of bed, sit your ass at the computer, and get in this podcast, bitch. Get in
Dog,
the zone.
the only person here that isn't in the podcast currently is Kobe. Okay. I am actively participating in this
I'm
podcast.
talking about you.
You
That's
give me
enough.
a lot of indigestion.
Yeah, I agree. He's gonna make me
That's-
shit.
He's gonna make me shit. What's a goon to a goblin? Gotta get up.
You trying to make the host
Stretch.
shit right now? Is that what you're trying to do? Trying to make him shit?
Look, I would like to say that we are both the hosts. There would be three of us, but Colby's just not here.
This is like the third podcast in a row where Colby is just non-existent.
Dude, he's gonna pop up like halfway through, like he did last time.
And he's gonna say some fuck shit. I already know. He's gonna say some crazy wild ass shit that I'm gonna have to edit out. I already know. Well, anyway, so I didn't write any notes down for this episode, so we're winging it.
Well,
Oh.
ask me some more questions.
Ask you some more questions.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Your
I'm gonna be
special
honest. The explanation you gave us about a little bit about yourself was kind of. I ain't even gonna lie.
Yeah, there definitely could have been more interesting topics.
And he goes, "Tell me about yourself. I play games, PC, and yeah." Oh, nice. I think we know plenty about you.
I do some IT stuff. It's kind of my occupation.
Yeah,
Now
but do you
And
we
my
do you
talking
do
hobby-
it? Do you do it because it's your job, or do you do it because you're passionate about it? Is it something you actually enjoy doing?
Well, yeah, it's also a hobby of mine. You know, doing the server thing and the client side stuff.
He
And
just got me onto this
server
new
stuff.
what was that thing? This mobile application
Portable
thing.
apps.
Portable
It's
apps.
probably a virus on a USB stick, but it's
not.
cool what it does.
Because you don't download all of them, right? You download what you want.
Yeah, just the ones with viruses on it.
Right. Unless they're mod packs, and then, Pulley doesn't want to download it.
Yeah, it's kind of sus, dude.
John Pork said you were a bitch, by the way.
That's hilarious.
Hey, that's all right. I'll
I
take
I
anything
said-
from John Pork.
I told him that you weren't willing to download any mods for Minecraft.
It's
and
just
then
weird that
he
it-
kinda
it
looked at
asks
me and
for
was
your
like,
Microsoft login information. That
Because-
That's
I don't know.
your
Because-
Minecraft login.
yeah, because Mojang got purchased by Microsoft.
Yes, I understand that. Correct. Yeah.
Windows is Microsoft.
Look, honestly, I would rather play Valheim than play Minecraft personally. I've been waiting. I know Mr. Miyagi here.
See, here's the thing, Pulley, is that me and Miyagi like to play both because we're gamers. We're not picky gamers.
I mean, okay. Your point.
My point is stop being a bitch.
Oh.
and play Minecraft.
Yeah, right.
Hey,
This is a kid's
what's wrong with
game, damn it.
Valheim? Tell me what's wrong with Valheim.
Okay, he completely disregarded what I was saying. Anyway, Miyagi, continue what you were saying. You enjoy IT. I just thought it was important that people should understand and know a little bit about that portable apps thing because that is actually very helpful for anybody that
You know how
is
to hack,
interested
Miyagi.
in. He does, but that's besides the point. Actually, speaking of hacking, I was talking to a friend today. This has nothing to do with hacking, but it's what people are stupid, right? So they don't understand computers, right? Everything is computer, whatever. Anyway, um, his mother was having issues with his internet or with their internet at their house and connectivity. And I was talking about Miyagi gave me an idea about a Raspberry Pi, and I wanted to talk to you about this. So, is it possible to get a Raspberry Pi or a small computer device where you can basically take a small Ethernet cable or whatever and use it and inject your own like IP addresses, MAC addresses, all this other shit onto like routers and whatever?
Oh, but what for?
For example, it so you know how like when you have network issues, right? When your internet is messing up or whatever, you hard reset it, right? And sometimes that'll refresh your IP. Like you know what I'm saying?
Okay. Yeah, that's DHCP.
Exactly. Yeah, that was the problem that he was dealing with. Anyway, if you had a Raspberry Pi and you could do that yourself, you wouldn't have to worry about relying on the internet service provider, right?
Well, that's not necessarily the service provider, but your router that has DHCP on it.
So is that so it's not the actual network itself, it's the physical device.
Yeah, yeah. Your router is what's assigning those IP addresses, not your ISP. Your
Really?
ISP is assigning your external IP address, but all of those internal on your local area network are going to be assigned through that DHCP protocol. And
So
that's
let's say hypothetically you own your own router, right? Does your own
Mhm.
physical router that you purchase, like from Micro Center or whatever, like that? Like it does its own IP addresses as well?
Yeah, yeah, but you can also create what are called static IP addresses,
Yes, I've heard about that.
where you can assign a MAC address or a device on the network any given IP address under that 192.168. Um, what is that called? Anyways, you can assign devices static IP addresses so they won't change if you're having issues like connecting to it through like a VPN tunnel or with using SSH or something.
But okay, then I get what you're saying. So I guess my philosophy behind this, right, is not relying on the physical device itself to do the shit for you, using your Raspberry Pi to do it yourself. So you have a console, right, that you can do and control all of that yourself. Like I know from like if I wanted to right now, I could just use my computer, right, and port into my router. But because it's quote unquote like locked, right, from Spectrum, I don't think
Mhm.
don't I not like have access to do stuff like that?
No, you can still do that, but since the hardware is locked, like you're saying, you have to go to the Spectrum website and do the quote unquote administrative uh kind of settings through that little website sign in or the applicate. You might have to use the phone app, but you can do your port forwarding and your static IP addresses and stuff from that. But there's other stuff that you won't be able to do. Like I'm not sure if you can set up a proxy or anything like that.
Hmm. So is it easier to just do it from your computer?
Yeah, probably.
Hmm.
You wouldn't really need a Raspberry Pi. You would just need to. configure some of the settings on your router by whatever means, whether that's, using the ISP mobile app or,
Right, right.
going into the web GUI.
Hmm. Okay, yeah, I was just wondering about that because that's something I'm definitely interested in is to get away from like being like shoehorned into using like Spectrum devices. Even though this router they give me is actually not that bad. Um, I was thinking about with Pulley moving in, I'm gonna need to have more access to my network. So just something I was thinking about.
Yeah, I think you should definitely make your own router.
Yeah. Do you have any suggestions?
Yeah, I do actually. There's a mini PC. Have you seen those? They're kind of like the old Intel Nooks, at least that kind of form factor.
I'm not.
Mini PCs.
Yeah, no, I've
There's
not
one.
heard of them. Wait, you
There's
sent
one.
me one once, right?
Yeah,
What is that? Is it like an all-in-one?
yeah. You can pretty much just swap the RAM out and the solid state drives in them. They've got NVMe's and some SODIMMs, but yeah, you can customize that as far as the hardware goes. Um, but they've got like built-in 8-core processors and onboard video, which for a server you wouldn't really be using graphics so much. But I would recommend getting a mini PC with a network switch and a wireless access point, and host your own network through something like that.
Wait, wait,
But
wait. So through the mini PC, you can do all of that?
yeah, I mean, yeah, absolutely. I mean, you could host the wireless connect. You wouldn't need a nice fancy wireless access point, but you could use a like a Wi-Fi USB dongle just plugged into a computer running the right firmware.
That's awesome. I love shit like that. That's sick. Yeah, that's like the next. I was talking to my friend today. He was telling me about this network issue, and I was just thinking I was like, that's definitely the next step for me because I'm not saying I'm like an expert in hardware, but I do know a decent amount of hardware now. And now I really need to get into like networking software stuff, especially with my own personal network here at my residence. Like, I need to start getting into doing stuff like that. I do have. I mean, the Spectrum app's not terrible. Like, I can monitor all the IP addresses that are on my internet and change like the frequencies and stuff. But it's just like again, like I said, being shoehorned into using my ISP for everything just doesn't sit right with me.
Yeah, like another thing you could host is your own domain name server. So how your network will allocate IP addresses to different domains, which are like websites and stuff. A lot of people change that on their router to like use Google's or what's the other one, like Cloudflare or something.
I mean,
But yeah,
yeah,
huh?
like you probably Google would be the safe bet, right?
Well, yeah, but hosting your own, you're able to eliminate stuff like pop-up ads and shit like that.
Yeah, is there like open source software for that?
Yeah, for the Raspberry Pi, a really popular one is Pi-hole.
Piehole.
Yeah, that's what it's called.
Nice, nice. That sounds like something a nerd came up with.
Pi-hole.
Eye hole. I'm the eye hole man. Get up on out of here with my eye holes. That's cool. Yeah, basically what I'm trying to say is, I want full control over my network. So anytime Pulley pisses me off, I can just kick his fucking computer off.
Yeah, that's super easy. I mean, you should be able to do that even with that with your setup now.
That's not very cash money.
So I guess Colby went to bed for the night, huh?
Yeah, he completely left the server. Yep.
That's fine. It is what it
Oli
is.
could get his own router and cascade that off of your router
Yeah,
and
he was
kind of
talking. He was talking about that. He said, "What if I get Starlink and I do my own internet? Then I don't have to worry about you."
well, no, he would be able to kind of maintain somewhat of his own security doing that. The only thing is you would have to change the you wouldn't be 192.168, you'd probably be like 10.0.0.1 for your gateway. You'd have to configure that a little bit, but I can help with that. I can help with that.
You might need to come over physically and show him because you wouldn't. I'm pretty sure you were just speaking gibberish to him. So
Jeez Louise.
Bully, are you okay?
Oh yeah, I'm peachy.
Yeah. Are
Dude's
you in
fucking
bed?
sleeping too.
No, I'm actually in my chair.
Hey, I'm proud of you, man. Good. Did
A
you have any
little
notes
extra
this
initiative.
week? It's been 3 weeks, Bully.
Any notes? Well, actually, I kind of wanted to know more about Miyagi's mead
Yeah,
he's working
I
on.
completely agree.
So Miyagi, can you tell the masses your hobby that you got going on with the meadery?
With the mead?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've got a couple, eight. I have eight carboys that are a gallon apiece. And for 1 gallon of mead, using one of those carboys, which is just a glass jug, I would do about 2 pounds or 32 ounces of honey, and then 16 fluid ounces of maple syrup. A honey maple mead is technically called an acerglyn, but I make a really sweet kind of wine from that using a Norwegian ale yeast. I don't actually use a typical wine yeast like most people making mead would, but a high ABV Norwegian ale yeast called Vike. It's funny because it kind of makes it a Viking mead.
Isn't that where it originated from, though?
Yeah, I mean, Norway is like a pretty prominent Viking country.
Right. Keeps the origins alive. That's one
Yeah.
dope thing about humanity for sure is trying to at least, even though we modernize a lot of dumb shit for whatever our stupid reasons are, keeping trying to keep traditions alive is nice.
Yeah, a lot of wine yeast will just come out really dry and kind of meh. This stuff has really high alcohol and still comes out really sweet.
Hopefully it's not dry though,
No,
because
that's what I'm
a lot of
saying
those
is
dry meads are just kind of skunky like wines. Ugh.
yeah, I
Definitely.
don't care for dry wine at all.
Well, isn't it like the sweeter the mead, the less alcohol content that it has?
Well, the only reason that would be is because the yeast is eating up the sugar and spitting out alcohol basically as a byproduct. So less sugar can or more sugar converted to alcohol is less sugar in the bottle, but you can always back sweeten and there's also different esters and flavor like off flavors that'll kind of contribute to that dry kind of less pleasant mouth feel.
Yeah, I did not like that last mead that Pulley bought. Shit was weird, tart.
The Dansk Miyad.
Yeah. I just
Yeah.
haven't. I don't like honey as much as I used to. I really
But the
don't.
bottles are cool as hell though.
When you're
Porcelain.
buying meat at the store, look on the bottom, or like look for a bottling date. Try to get the oldest one you can, like that Dwoniak meat I like to get at the liquor store. I
Mhm.
try to find like a 2023 bottling.
Mhm.
Tastes really good if it's old, a little bit older.
How was that Viking Fest?
It was cool. So I work with a few guys that have tents down there, and their wives kind of sell jewelry and stuff while um they have like a little pit kind of fenced off for people dressed up as knights wailing on each other with what seem to be real swords and axes
Hell
and
yeah.
shit.
Are they just blunt swords?
Yeah, I don't think they're sharpened, but they're still fucking whacking the hell
That
out of people, like
that
right
does
on the
not
head.
matter. Don't. I mean, obviously the blade being sharp is one thing, but when you're talking about using a steel blade, regardless of what it is, that shit hurts.
Yeah, it's got some fucking weight to it. I don't care who you are. And they're denting each other's helmets and shit with it and
Hell yeah.
taking each other down to the ground. Like it's fucking wild.
I have to see a joust in real life.
Oh, you got to go to the Renaissance Fair for that.
I
That
know.
that'll come up in this fall. We'll do that for sure.
100%. I gotta drink some mead and watch a fucking joust.
Oh no, dude, at the
Bucket
Renaissance Fair,
list.
we'll do the pub
Uh,
crawl, and I'll
bet.
bring my own fucking mead.
Fucking bet. Say less. I know Pulley would be down for that.
I love Renaissance fairs. I haven't been to
There's
any
also
around here yet.
some attractive ladies there. Some fair maidens.
Some fair maidens.
That's true.
I for
I've,
real
I've always
would
wanted to
get.
be with an elf.
I would for real go for the fights, the mead, and of course the giant ass turkey legs.
Last
I,
time I was at the Renaissance Fair, though, there were a lot of boys dressed up as Zelda.
I mean,
Oh
that's not
no,
surprising. Zelda's popular.
Not
Especially
Link,
when it
not Link, Zelda.
Zelda the princess.
I fucked that up. Damn. I've always been like, yeah, Zelda is the princess, Link is the main character, whatever. But it's like, damn. But that's I mean, that's cool, you know. I'm not against that. It's just like, damn, like how many did you see? Like a lot?
Dude, like more than a handful.
More than a
It
handful?
was like to the point that I would be reiterating it to you today.
Yeah, that
I saw
yeah.
that many.
Damn. I'm trying to think. Um the last convention that I went to, did I see No, honestly, I'll be honest though, there was a lot of kids at the last convention I went to, which kind of sucks. I'm you know, I'm all cool with, whatever. Like at a convention obviously there's going to be kids there, but when there's a fuck ton of kids, it's just like yikes. Trying to head out of here.
Yay.
Bjornsky left. What the fuck?
I wanted to go into the gun range.
Oh. So yeah, Renaissance Fair. I've never been to one. Katie invited me once to go. She didn't even end up going that time, but she's been to a bunch. I was wanting to go, but I just never really like went through with it.
Oh hell yeah, dude! You go there, you watch some jousting. There's a little sword duel, and then they have like a Highlander games where they're throwing great big ass logs up into the air.
Dude, hell yeah.
Um, but yeah, they've got fried Oreos and fried Twinkies and turkey legs and a bunch of blacksmiths, so you can get like buy a whole chainmail suit if you wanted to.
That would be such a waste of money, but also would be so cool at the same time.
Yeah, you'd be strutting everywhere on that fucking chainmail. I know you would.
Yeah, see, I love cosplaying. It's actually
You
so
get
much fucking fun. But
you get jacked. That shit is not light.
here's the problem though, right? Obviously, whatever, people can say whatever about like cosplaying and shit, but I am very particular about like how I want things to work out. Even though I'm not
Anal
artistic.
retentive.
Yeah, I'm not artistic in the way where like I can think of, oh, let's go buy some styrofoam from the store, shape this to where it is, paint it, put some different things together, make my own thing. Like I'm more of a store bought type of guy when it comes to cosplaying. But I'll make some modifications here and there to try to get it to exactly the way I want it. And if it's not that way, then I just don't fucking do it. So when I go to a Renaissance fair, I'm gonna fucking dress up like Jon Snow or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't going there wearing a fucking anime t-shirt, right? And just being like, oh, that's like I Heath Ledger this shit. You know what I'm saying? I really get into the character. It's just fun. So I never try to feel like I'm putting less effort in when I'm doing something like that. So when I go to a convention and I am cosplaying, like obviously if I'll go to conventions and I'll just wear anime t-shirt, shirt, whatever. But if I'm going there and my main objective is to cosplay, just at least for one day, I'm going to make sure that whatever character I choose, I'm passionate about first of all, but second of all, the outfit turns out the way I want it.
I'm gonna bring my cat with me.
Hey, that'd be cool.
No, the pub crawl at the Renaissance Fair is probably the best thing to do. So you sign up for the pub crawl, then at a certain time you'll meet in like a circle with your group and they'll pass out everybody a mug. So you get a mug and then you'll go through the whole park at every place that sells alcohol pretty much and fill up your mug. And the tour guide has you do a chant, like there's a whole song that you sing that the drunks go marching on and all this shit uh, as you march from bar to bar. And at every stop, he does limericks and jokes, and then has party games that you play and stuff. It's a lot of fun, and you just get drunker and drunker and drunker.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, by the end of it, I was sloshed. it
I
was,
bet you were. I bet
it
you were.
was it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, we got to get Pulley involved in something like that.
I'm not opposed.
The basement dweller.
What's up, Roosty?
Congratulations.
Congratulations to what?
Oh, congratulations. You caught me.
Okay. That's good. So, Miyagi, when was the first time that you met Pulley?
I think at your house.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like my physical house or my dad's house?
Your dad's.
What do you
Yeah.
remember about that?
He was very, very flattering to be around. Feel like he kept giving me the googly eyes and shining his calves at me.
100%. I
Um,
bet he did.
Shining my calves at you. What do you mean?
Kind of
That's
like
a.
how an Arabian woman would flash some ankle.
That's great. I'm about it.
I just want people to picture that in their heads. Just do like calves like with the little shoo, like the gleam, the glisten off in the corner, just blinding Miyagi in a basement. Just oh.
Yeah, it was like Indiana Jones finding the crystal skull.
I just want everybody
Actually,
to
a
be
wild way
aware.
to put it.
I just want everybody to be aware he is not downplaying this in any way. Like if you see Pulley's calves, you would just be like, wow. It's like cankles when you see cankles for the first time. You know what I'm saying?
What?
Wow.
You're just like, whoa. Just so dumbfounded. There's no words that can possibly come to your skull. Well, that's good. So, what was that? Like a party or something? Like New Year's?
I don't know. It might have been a get together your dad was having. Yeah, like your whole family might have been over and stuff.
Were you at your mom's at the time?
Oh, God only knows where I was at the time.
No, Pulley. But
Oh,
you were living in Arnold, I think, or not Arnold, somewhere in Missouri. What was that place you lived?
you trying to dox me, bro?
No,
It was Overland.
Overland. Mm. No, Pulley. Were you at your mom's?
Yeah. Yeah, at that time.
Gotcha. Yep, that was when we were all together. Good times.
Good
Together,
times.
together.
And Mr. Bubby was there too to meet Miyagi. Who else?
There were so many
George
people.
and George and John, I think, met Miyagi.
Okay, which
Probably.
one of them was passed out on the couch? Who was it? Was it John? No, it
I
was
honestly don't
George.
remember.
It was George. I remember. Some chick was there like comforting him the whole time on the couch while he was just
Oh,
like
that was probably his lady. That's
like
funny.
he was not making any he was making noises the whole time. He was like half awake, half asleep, fucking sloshed out of his mind.
What a guy.
Good times, man. That was not that long ago either. And now everybody's married and having kids and stuff.
Isn't that awful?
You're not one to talk, Miyagi. I know you're putting a ring on that soon.
Nope.
No.
You know, Miyagi, you don't know what you got till it's gone, buddy.
Yep. Sweet paradise. Put up a parking lot.
What does it cost you? $700 and a few nights sleep? You're all good to go.
Put up a parking lot. No.
No.
Nope.
Okay.
No.
All right.
Miyagi,
Yeah.
what's your craziest hot take?
My craziest hot take.
Yeah.
That's too vague. I need something more specific.
Too
I need more
vague.
specific. Yeah. What, what's your most unpopular opinion? Like, what do you have to base that off of?
Hmm. Okay, well, Polly, you got something in mind?
uh, women.
What's my
Craziest
hot
hot
take
take
on
about
women?
women?
Yeah.
Fat chicks shouldn't be allowed to wear yoga pants.
I don't think that's a hot take. I'm sorry.
No?
I got a good one for you, but this isn't so much a hot take
How
as
about
it is
short
it is
shorts?
more of a quote from the great Polly.
Oh no.
Starbucks is to white women as cows to a trough.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? He's just gonna stay silent. He's not gonna. He's not gonna. What's it? What you call it? Um.
Wait, who? Like, were you talking to me or Miyagi?
I thought you were talking to Polly.
I want to do it so bad.
I don't know who that's for.
That's what I'm saying. There was really no context of who he was
I
talking
said,
to.
and I quote: "Pulley goes, cat." Sorry, I give up. I give up. Anyway, Miyagi, what's your fondest memory of us growing up?
Fondest memory?
Is it the king, the Beast King?
That's definitely up there.
The Beast
We're
King was
going
legendary. I think the best thing
going
ever. No,
Baja.
hold on. Listen, I got a good one for you. Going Baja is good. I know you'll remember this one. This one was great. This is one of the best moments we've ever had. Remember when we started making moon rocks?
Yeah.
That's the best. Best time. 100%. Moon rocks.
Moon
Can you
rocks.
explain to the audience what a moon rock is?
At least how we were putting them together was basically some flour rolled around in wax with keef sprinkled on top of it. You
Yes.
basically
However,
roll it
we
around in
layered
keef
it.
after.
We layered it. We went a nug, rolled in wax, rolled in keef, uh, and then rolled some bud around it, put it in the middle of a bowl, covered it in more flour, and sprinkled keef on top. Yeah, we we kind of went all out back then. Good times, good times. And then you taught me how to roll. That was fun.
Golly.
You just good
Still can't do
times.
raps.
Yeah, now people use cones nowadays. I think that's just cheating.
Yeah. You in that much of a hurry to smoke.
It's not. You're in a hurry at that point, right? Yeah, you need. It's not about. It's not about
It's
the
about the
act.
experience.
Exact. Thank you. Thank you. It's not about the journey. It's about the destination.
But you said that backwards.
I said it how I said it.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll go with that.
So yeah, I mean, moon rocks for sure. That's a banger. Obviously, the chase kickball situation. That's a banger.
Dropping acid, total banger.
Oh god, hell no. That was terrible. Terrible. I'm still upset that you didn't have a good time with Meowsy. I thought you had a good night that night.
I was panicking that whole night.
I thought we were doing great. We were playing Unraveled all night. Man, that was fun.
Yeah, I thought I was gonna like fucking go out of body and lose control and start fucking murking people like I was in a video game or something.
It's just nuts that that was just like shrooms. Like that's not like DMT or anything, or even
Well,
anything like super
well, see, that
potent.
was my first time really doing mushrooms after the whole LSD experience. So I
Yeah,
wasn't
and
sure my level of control. So I just freaked myself out.
yeah, also though, like isn't the way that it works like if you put mushrooms in like citrus that it like enhances the effects as well?
Ascorbic acid or vitamin C will break down the psilocybin into psilocin, which is the actual psychoactive element
Right.
to
So that's
magic
why
mushrooms.
we got so fucked up because we literally drank mushroom orange juice.
Yeah.
But man, there is absolutely nothing wrong with psychedelics if you do it in the right ratios, in the right mental space, uh, with a group of people. Like I would never recommend doing it by yourself. At least have
No, go
one or
camping
two
and do it
people.
with
Hell
a
no,
handful of people
hell no! You
camping.
told me that shit was terrible too.
No, 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 no. I went. My buddy's got 100 acres. A guy that I worked with, and we went over to his farm, a bunch of other coworkers, and did some mushrooms, and that was a great time. There's no fucking we were out in rural county, and you could see all the stars and stuff, and we had 100 acres to fuck around in. It
So that
was
was a
badass.
different time than you were telling me about.
Yeah,
Regardless, uh,
most recently though, what I will do is I'll grind them up and put them in a pill capsule. So they'll be about like 500 milligrams or half a gram, and you pop one of those going on a hike. Like if you've got any good like
oh
hiking spots around you, take a little point 0.5 and you don't feel your legs, dude. You're just chilling, walking around.
yeah. See, but in that, like I said, in that situation, you're with people that you enjoy, in the right mental space, in the right ratios, like chilling. Like you're not just grabbing a handful of them, shoving them down your throat because you want to be like not on this plane, right?
Well,
That's
see,
that's when
now
people get fucked up.
my perspective about that has kind of changed because with the whole ego death, now you don't really lose your ego, but it kind of makes you more self-aware. And I think those anxieties, those insecurities, those fears and stuff can really be brought to the forefront of your psyche by taking mushrooms and even having a bad trip. Why did after you have one, you kind of have a good idea of, oh, yeah, I went there because this happened and yada yada. I think it's good for telling you something about yourself.
Oh, 100%. I mean, if people take mushrooms and come out the other side the same person, something didn't work, right?
I mean, you'll still be the same person. You'll just be a little wiser, I think.
Oh, 100%. I will never be the same person I was years ago because of what I went through. I gained a tremendous amount of experience.
Yeah, you learn a lot about people just figuring stuff out about yourself.
Oh, yeah. Shit. 100%. That's why we need to get Pulley on this train, you know?
On the train of what?
Growing as a person.
I mean, I've already been
Enlightenment.
on that path.
Right. How's that going? By just reading a book?
Oh fuck my phone! Damn it. Y- that one book on Ikigai. I like that. Um, I've been meaning to get back into my, what is it? Laws of Human Nature by Robert Greene. Um, and honestly, like, as cringe as it might sound, it's actually kind of nice to have like a journal, like a personal journal or whatever.
I
Because
mean,
I
I don't
have one
think
of
that's
those.
cringe. It just
I
depends
mean,
on
some
it depends on the use case. Like people grow up saying or know they're like, "Oh, a journal is just somewhere that you can just write down like everything and anything about your day," but that's not what a journal's for, right?
well, some people also see journals as more of like a, like a women only type of thing, but that's not at all the case because I have a personal journal that it has writing prompts, or it more specifically it'll ask a question a day, and based off of that, you just kind of fill it out. But it's kind of cool. It allows you to kind of reflect on not only your day but your week, you know,
Yeah.
and then later down the road you can actually look back and kind of be like, wow, this was my mindset back then, or this is what was going on. It's
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, that gives you some perspective as well, for sure. But I think what I that's good for sure. But I think what me and Miyagi are kind of alluding to more of is like I guess it's along the similar path, but like you learn even like more intricate, darker things about people, especially when you do psychedelics with people that you know personally, right? For example,
Yeah.
with a situation that me and Miyagi went through, we rarely learned something about someone we're close to.
You talking about Chase?
Yes, but things like that. And it kind of gives you a little bit of an a first person perspective into the mindset of other people, right? Not just reading someone else's perspective on someone else's mindset. Does that make sense?
Mm.
I think I understand people a lot more now because of things that I've went through. And I'm open and willing to be ignorant about certain things and not know everything. Like people that don't have a drive to be open-minded about perspectives, even if in the back of your mind you're set in your ways, if on the surface you try your best to at least take things in from certain perspectives and think about it like from a rational standpoint, that definitely helps you grow. And I didn't do or learn any of this through any of the people that I've known. This is literally just all shit that I've went through and done through my own personal growth journey. And I think everybody kind of needs to do that in their own way. And people that don't do that need to wake up. But that's just my opinion. I only have control over my life, right? Not anyone else's. I can only try to point people in the right direction. Regardless, though, I'm happy for you, Pulley. I'm glad that you're beginning your journey. You might be late to the game, but you're getting there
What do you mean late to the game?
on your personal growth journey.
I mean, I definitely wouldn't say I'm late to the game. It's been something I've been. It's more of like a. It's not something that I talk to really anyone about. It's normally just between me, myself, and I. Uh, just personal shit. I try to keep myself accountable.
As you should.
Um, I also try to, you know, kind of be honest with myself about things, not be like delusional. Um, be able to be humble and recognize when I'm fucking up and have those kind of conversations with myself, like realizing like, hey, this isn't anyone else's problem but my own, or in certain circumstances, like I'm the reason why certain things are happening. It's no one else's fault but my own type of thing. Just being able to take accountability and actually realizing, um, when certain things go wrong or when certain things pop up in life. Um,
And do you actually feel that you're learning and growing from those experiences, or you're taking them in at face value, assessing them, and going, okay, this happened, and moving on?
I mean, I try to learn the best that I can. I mean, uh, some situations might take more than just one time, but I believe that's kind of life. Like not everyone is, like it's not about how many times you get knocked down, it's about how many times you get back up.
100%.
And like as long as you're able to at least get to the point eventually of realizing like, hey, I've done this X amount of times. Okay, now I realize that I need to do this a totally different way
Oh,
than
yeah.
the previous. Um, I mean, I don't know about y'all, but like, do you ever just kind of like have almost deep conversations with yourself?
You have to. It's the only way.
Like,
I
like
know.
almost like,
Anybody that says they don't have an inner monologue or any sort of like self reflection type of like, you don't even have to talk to yourself or anything like that, but just like exactly like you're saying, like they're lying to themselves. It's literally the only way to, in my opinion, to grow. Because that's literally what self reflection is, right?
yep, exactly. I mean, because even though most of the time when I'm around y'all, I'm just straight up goofy as hell almost every single day. But there's also a part of me that you guys don't necessarily see a whole often, and that's more of like my serious side of myself that kind of surfaces when I'm in deep thought and kind of thinking about things and shit and um kind of having conversations with myself about life and just kind of like where I'm at and like the goofiness side of me kind of goes away and my kind of deeper part of myself kind of comes out more and
Well, what
actually
triggers
can.
that though?
A lot of the times it's just when I'm kind of like what I told you just now, like when I'm thinking about just life in general, where I'm at, what I want to do with life, if I'm happy, if I'm not happy. I kind of have conversations with myself as in like, okay, if I'm not happy, why am I not happy? And I kind of like break down in the sense of like almost, I don't know, like I just try to be honest with myself. because I don't like to, I guess.
No, I agree. There's nothing wrong with that.
I don't really know how to put it.
Do
It's kind
you
of
also understand though that when it comes to situations like that, that there is a point to where it's different from self-reflection, where it is overthinking, right?
yeah,
You
no,
need to keep
yeah.
yourself accountable in the in a circumstance to where there's the difference between being self-reflective and critical about your certain opinions and also overthinking to where you're rewriting certain things in your head. It's important to
I mean,
be able to tell the difference between those.
oh yeah, I mean, I might be a little overcritical of myself, but that's just because
Sounds like you're a
I
perfectionist or something then.
no, it's not necessarily that, but it's like if I know I'm fucking up, I like when I think about certain circumstances where like I realize I'm in the wrong, I call myself out on that instead of just like being in denial and just blaming other factors or blaming other people for why I'm in whatever situation or why um, things haven't gone my way. Like I try to actually be real with myself in that
I
sense
agree.
because
I also do think it's important to realize how other people have influenced those as well, though, because it's not always "woe is me," this happened, whatever, blah blah blah. It's also outside influences. For example, why we were so critical about your ex girlfriend, right? From one perspective, when you see it, right? Because you're the person that's in that situation every single day, but your outside forces are saying, we see this, but we just want you to see it from this perspective, right? Do you see what I'm saying?
yeah.
So it's also very important to understand how outside influences are changing that. I had a very fucking rough time growing up doing that and being able to recognize when it's my fault compared to when other people's influences are making me change who I am as a person to try to compensate for certain things, right?
Mm.
Took me a long fucking time to realize that. And I think the most important thing that's happened to me in that situation that has helped me grow has been being by myself. And sure, it's lonely, right? It's nice to have other people around you, not just friends, but just other people. But sometimes you need to be alone, right?
Yeah.
You need to
I
do
mean,
shit on your own, grow as a person on your own, um, and understand and take time to reflect back on the past and see, yeah, this person was influencing me to this situation or in this to this type of a way that essentially changed myself as a person, not to what I was. Whether you think it's for the better or the worse, um, like I
Well, how
said,
about
it's
this?
yeah,
What do you think about, maybe this will sound weird, but what do you think about forgiveness?
it's important. But you be rational about it. Don't there. Do you know the? Have you ran into people that literally use forgiveness as a weapon,
How do you
or
mean?
what
or
do you mean by that?
like um, what I mean by that is like people that are not so much in tune with emotions to a point to where they apologize for everything or they try to explain everything to a certain amount to where they really try to, I don't know, emotionally explain things. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Mm, not entirely, no.
So like it's hard, it's hard for me to explain, but what I mean by that is like people that constantly are trying to explain from an emotional standpoint why things are happening the way they are, or in certain circumstances not being so much in tune with themselves to the point to where they feel like they have to explain things in certain ways constantly. But as far as the forgiveness standpoint is, it's just like it's important to make rational decisions about things like that first before you jump to immediate yeah I forgive you, or they go oh I'm sorry about this and you feel a certain way, right? Does that make sense?
I just mean having forgiveness for yourself. I mean, using it to not dwell on something that could potentially set you back, like, the just the negative impact around any kind of confrontation.
Yeah, for sure.
So like, are you more or less kind of talking about learning how to let go of things that you can't really
Well,
control
exactly.
necessarily? Hmm.
Sometimes you have to forgive somebody just so that you can move on.
Oh yeah, but
Yeah,
are you
that's kind
using
of.
it as an excuse though, or are you being legit? And is it because
I
that
mean,
other person is hard headed and they don't want to be open minded to understand why they fucking did shit wrong? Or, like,
I feel like that's kind of a gray area though, because if you have an issue with
is it
someone and
though?
like you I mean it can be like in the sense of if you have a long-term disagreement with someone that you just either of you can't see eye to eye like with each other, but if you feel the need to want to get over that issue, whether or not it can come to like a resolution, you can just forgive them just for your own sake to move on instead of hoping for a specific outcome, I
Well, yeah, I
guess.
mean, you can't control other people
You can
for one, and you can't change them either.
you can only control your reaction to them. Give yourself power in that sense.
Do you
You
guys
just
hear
fart.
that?
Mm.
You just fart.
No. Eddie is playing with cardboard bags or whatever.
Cardboard bags or whatever.
Are you having fun down there, bud?
I'm having a blast.
That was deep.
Mm,
That was some deep shit.
it is.
Is there anything else you need to ask Mr. Miyagi or anything you wrote down? No?
I actually have a little bit of a interesting question for y'all.
Okay, I'm ready.
If there was a box filled with anything that well, anything or everything that you've ever lost, what would be the first thing that you would look for?
Ever lost? What do you mean by that?
Yeah, it could be an item, it could be a memory, it can be a person, just anything that if you had the opportunity to open a box just full of anything from the past that you wish you could kind of interact with again, what would that be? And why?
What do you got, Miyagi?
Oddly enough, this monkey stuffed animal I had whenever I was really little.
Yeah, what's that?
I took that thing everywhere with me, and
Dude, I was actually thinking about my little stuffed animal I had a long time ago. Not too long ago.
yeah.
I think my dad actually still has it. I'm not gonna lie. Which is pretty crazy. Okay, but did you have a stuffed animal and a blankie, or did you just have a stuffed animal?
Pretty much just the stuffed animal.
Yeah. What about you, Pulley?
Like about a stuffed animal or just about the question in general?
Well, I'm asking about the stuffed animal, but yes, also the question.
Stuffed animal wise, I think one of the first things I remember is I had this. It was like a teddy bear with like a southern kind of cowboy hat, and it had a bunch of like buttons all over it. And on the buttons was like a number, so it was like a way for you to like practice when you were little, like your numbers, like 1 through 10, and you would click the buttons, and the bear would talk and like tell you what number it was or whatever the fuck. But it was nostalgic. Um, question about the box. Hmm. Kind of hard, but a part of me wants to say just kind of like to be able to sort of relive some of the last moments I had with my dad.
What do you mean?
Um, well, I'm not close at all with my dad anymore, but when I was a kid, I was super close, obviously, but uh, just things were different back then, you know.
Yeah, I
When
understand.
you're a kid, you just kind of obviously you look for well, look to your parent as your role model and all that. And I loved my dad at that time a lot.
So
So
what changed?
being able to kind of say what?
So what changed?
Uh, it's not necessarily something I would like to discuss on this podcast, but uh, at the time there was just some differences. Was I think 12 at the time, and we had some differences um, of how we saw things, and basically just stopped seeing them,
Hmm.
unfortunately. And I mean, even though
So was that his
I've,
decision?
uh, I think it was both, honestly. I can't necessarily just pin the blame 100% on him, even though he was the adult at the time. I think at that period in my life, I kind of felt our relationship was kind of like I don't know if compromised is the right word I want to use here, but um, at that point, my dad was seeing my now stepmom, and she had 2 kids and all that, and it wasn't just like him and I anymore. It was him and I plus her and her kids, and it's just I wanted that like close father and son time, and I couldn't get that. And I only saw him every other weekend, so that bothered me a lot to the point where it's just like I couldn't take it anymore. I just kind of blew up because it's like the only time I got to see my dad. I couldn't just spend it with him. It had to be spent with other people.
Yeah,
So
no, I
yeah.
understand. Similar situation for me. Not so much with that, just like my mom and dad separating, and then my dad just working all the fucking time. But my mom's like, "Oh, here's this new boyfriend," every other week
Mm.
with other people. It's like, all right. Yeah, no, I get where you're coming from. So if you had a box and you were able to open it, that's what you would want.
That and also just memories with my grandma. 'Cause I miss my grandma a lot. I lost her, was it 3 years ago?
It's
So
not that long ago.
yep, but it's kind of one of those voids that can't be filled, but you just gotta keep chugging along.
I hear you. I hear you. I feel like for me, it would probably be playing baseball when I was young. If I had the mindset I had nowadays back then, I would have had a completely different perspective on like focusing on sports and like understanding like from all different perspectives like why things happen the way they are because I I don't know, I was a bitch ass kid when I was young. I didn't
No,
understand how things worked, right? And it just kind of made me upset. And I was a vindictive little shit when I was younger. So if I had a little bit more perspective, I probably would have been a different type of person. Probably from the better. However, I don't disregard that those uh situations and things that I went through made me a better person. So, but yeah, that's probably what I would say.
things pretty legit.
Yeah, it's not so much about sports, right? It's like with everything and anything. Like I fucking hated school, right? But if I would have at least just went back and been like, you know what, you'll be all right. Just fucking put your head in a book for a few years, and then you can just go do whatever you want. Probably would make me a better person, right?
Yeah.
That was a good question. I like that. Did you get that off the top of your head, or did you write that down earlier, or what was that?
No, I didn't write it down. It was just a question that kind of popped into my head, like something that I heard in the past, where someone asked the same exact question.
I like
Very
that.
thought provoking,
We
very
need
deep.
more of that from you, Mr. Pulley. That was great.
Uh,
I like that. Miyagi, is there anything else you'd like to add?
I get gas.
What does that mean? Like you're gassy, like you eat beans a lot, or
Every day ends in a Tums festival.
a Tums festival? Are you sure that's not because your mead's bad again?
what about Pepto? You take some Pepto?
No, no. No Pepto.
All right. Well, Miyagi has bowel issues, so thank you guys for listening to this episode of the Midwest Degens. It got pretty deep there at the end. You know, a little exposition there for all the late night listeners. Um, it was a good episode. You know, I'm gonna be honest. We have no fucking clue what's going on with Colby. So he might be back. He might not be back. We don't really know at this point. So let's just say for now, it's probably just me and Pulley. And that's kind of how we're
Sounds
gonna
about
roll
right.
going forward. And if Colby wants to join, he can. Again, as I stated in the first episode, I'd I'd enjoy him to be our third member, and he is our third member or has been. So, but if he doesn't want to join or whatever, that's on him. But yeah, that's not a big deal to me. Regardless, I thought that was all right. We're gonna have Mr. Miyagi back on the podcast. Don't worry, he's going to be back. We got
Yes,
so
we need more
many
thought-provoking questions
things,
and topics from Miyagi.
of course, and he's got plenty. Yes,
He's
Colby's in
full
the
of
basement. He's
knowledge.
busy. Exactly.
Hey, glad to see you're still with us, Gopher.
So yeah. Anyway, um, for anybody that is watching this on YouTube, if you want to watch these live, usually we do these on Saturday nights. Twitch.tv/I Sprints X is where I stream. I try to stream every day, and yeah, all the homies hang out in Discord. So it's basically a podcast every night, right? Just not the
Pretty
official
much.
podcast. So, but yeah, a special shout out to Mr. Miyagi, good friend of mine, longtime friend. He will be back for more deep thoughts.
And I just want to mention one thing, if I can. Just put a little
Okay,
tidbit out there.
sure.
I just want to say, for those of y'all who are actually listening, we appreciate it. It's a small little startup podcast, but it means the world to us if you're actually listening, putting in some comments, possibly, just checking it out. It means a lot.
100%.
Thank you.
Yes. And this is not so much meant for, we're not looking for popularity or money or anything. We're just doing this out of fun. So, we kind of get off track and say whatever the fuck we want. That's the whole point of this podcast anyway. Look at the fucking name.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So that's kind of where we're at. Yeah. So, that's going to do it for this episode. Next week, we do not have a special guest planned, so we will probably have some surprises for you for next week. We'll see, and maybe Colby will be back, maybe not. Who knows?
Dude, who knows with him?
Yeah, but there is one thing that we do know is that he's gonna be eating some plain McChickens. So until next time, John signing off. And yet I will see you guys in the next episode.
Keep it peachy.
I like how that was at the very end too. Keep it peachy. Bro, I've had to piss for so fucking long, dude. I gotta piss so bad. That was a good episode though. That was almost an hour and a half.
Damn.